day and pick it up.
Reporting from Milwaukee, I'm Usher Qureshi.
Usher, thank you for that report. Well, that's going to do it for us today. I'm Michelle London. Denver 7 News at 5 starts right now.
Now on Denver 7 News, a heat wave is in full effect in Colorado.
We've been sweating it out today with highs in the 90s and triple digits and a heat advisory in effect. I'll let you know when that will expire and what your weekend forecast looks like.
We're taking a look at ways to stay cool over the weekend.
Plus, a couple on a morning hike finds themselves at gunpoint. How the fast action of a witness helped the couple escape.
The country is one step closer to protecting some of our youngest children. The next steps needed to get a vaccine available.
And hockey fans all recognize that sound. How Ball Arena makes sure the fans have an experience they'll never forget at every game.
Come the Stanley Cup final, everything's elevated.
And oh boy, the heat is here. You are taking a live look at the Mile High City today. Hopefully you have plenty of water on hand if you were working or playing outside today. Good evening, and thank you for joining us for Denver 7 News at 5. I'm Ann Trujillo.
I'm Shannon Ogden. Glad you're with us. We are in a Denver 7 weather action day for good reason. Meteorologist Stacey Donaldson joins us. So we were heading for a record. Did we hit it?
Missed it by that much. 99 degrees today. Hot nonetheless. Our record today is 100, set just last year in 2021. But this time of year, we should only be around 84 degrees. So this is abnormally warm here for the Front Range. So we have had a heat advisory in effect today for the Front Range, the metro area, and the Eastern Plains. And we're still dealing with these 90s and triple digits. At this point, we're at 97 degrees in Denver, 100 in Ray, and 99 for Sterling, with 70s and 80s up in the higher elevations. Here right around Denver, we have 91 downtown, 93 in Littleton, and 97 at the airport, with mostly 80s up toward Boulder and Broomfield. High fire danger still a risk in through the rest of this evening, with a red flag warning for western Colorado. And we do have some scattered showers that have popped up across the western half of our state. Looks like most of those showers will continue to stay in the higher elevations, but we do have chances for rain coming our way as we head into our holiday weekend. We're going to be talking more about that weekend forecast coming up.
All right, thank you, Stacey. And without air conditioning, this heat can be more than uncomfortable. It can be dangerous.
Denver 7's Russell Haythorne is live in downtown Denver. Russell, there is an entire apartment building that is having issues right now.
Yeah, and it is a sweltering hot day downtown, so you can imagine what it's like being in an old building without AC. That is the issue some are dealing with in downtown this afternoon. We have some video to show you from earlier at the Renaissance at Civic Center next to the YMCA at 16th and Lincoln. They've been without air conditioning for the entire season so far. One resident told us his apartment reached 100 degrees inside on Saturday, and another told us it is just as hot today. Some are very concerned about their health and the health of their neighbors. The apartment is run by the Colorado Coalition for the Homeless, and we reached out to them for comment. In a statement, spokeswoman Kathy Alderman said, "We are aware the air conditioning is out for many of the residents. Unfortunately, the part that is needed to fix the AC is a proprietary part from the manufacturer that requires a microchip that is unavailable because of supply chain and shipping issues. We have provided many residents with fans and, in some cases, window AC units, but are unable to put units in all of the apartments because the electrical structure in the building could not support it." Alderman says they'll continue to make accommodations for the residents of that apartment complex, especially those with medical conditions and those who are particularly susceptible to the heat, like the elderly and children. She says they are deeply sorry for the discomfort, but they will continue to try to mitigate the situation. We'll keep you posted on all of these developments. For now, we're live in downtown. Russell Haythorne, back to you guys.
All right, Russell, thank you. And there are plenty of ways to make sure that you are keeping your body and your home cool in this heat.
So if you're going to be outside this weekend, plan ahead. In heat like this, the CDC recommends you drink 1 cup of water every 15 to 20 minutes, and small amounts more often, better than a lot all at once. And make sure you keep hydrated in the afternoon to replace what you've sweated out.
And as we start feeling the temps get hotter and hotter, sooner and sooner, AC is no longer just an option. Xcel says it is ready for the demand, but here's what the company recommends so you hopefully save some money along the way. Just close your curtains right away. Get the fans going if you're at home, maybe an upgrade to a programmable thermostat so you can better control the temps and costs.
And if you're thinking about tubing to cool off this weekend, the St. Vrain River and Golden's Clear Creek are closed to tubing. Now you can blame the heat for that one too. These higher temps are creating all the runoff, making rivers too dangerous for all but the most experienced boaters.
Some scary moments this morning for a couple of hikers near Bear Creek Lake Park in Jefferson County after a man held them at gunpoint. Denver 7's Micah Smith is joining us now. And Micah, it turns out that suspect had a history of harassing one of the hikers.
And during the course of this alleged attempted kidnapping, the victims realized they knew the suspect, 73-year-old Carrie Ensley. The Jeffco Sheriff's Office says Ensley has a history of harassing the female victim. And this time, a witness gave dispatch a play-by-play as the incident unfolded. Around 8 o'clock Friday morning, a couple's hike on this trail in Jefferson County near Oak Street was abruptly stopped.
We received a 911 call from a hiker at this trailhead behind us who was witnessing 2 other hikers being held at gunpoint.
Jeffco Sheriff's Office Public Information Officer Jackie Kelly says the husband and wife walked by the suspect who was knelt down tying his shoe.
As they passed him, he immediately pulled a gun, held him at gunpoint.
The witness told dispatch the suspect placed a leash around the woman's neck and began to take the couple off the trail.
Before we got there, though, the male victim was able to get the firearm away from the suspect.
When deputies arrived, they took the victims to safety and confronted the suspect.
He pulls a weapon, which we now know to be a taser. Our deputy pulled his firearm and fired a shot at him. He missed him. Another one of our deputies fired his taser, and the suspect was hit. So that's when he was taken into custody.
Wow, well, it's good they have him in custody, but I'm surprised.
Neighbor Dan Van Lanningham's home is behind the crime tape.
We ride bicycles in it every day, and it's usually, there's a lot of people over there typically every day.
This is alarming. There's no question about it.
Investigators say the female victim had a restraining order against 73-year-old Carrie Ensley. We just got his mugshot into the newsroom not too long ago. Deputies arrested Ensley for second-degree kidnapping, felony menacing, and violation of a restraining order, Shannon.
Wow. All right. Thank you very much. We have new developments tonight in the church shooting in Alabama. A third victim now has died in the hospital. Police say a gunman opened fire inside St. Stephen's Episcopal Church in Vestavia Hills, that's just outside of Birmingham, last night. They say the suspect is a 71-year-old man who occasionally attended services there. They say he acted alone and is in custody. Of course, this is just the latest act of gun violence. And today, the last of the 21 victims of the Uvalde, Texas school shooting laid to rest. A bipartisan group of U.S. senators is working on gun reform legislation they hope to finalize this weekend.
The FDA has just given emergency use authorization for COVID-19 vaccines for kids as young as 6 months old. And this is for both the Pfizer and Moderna shots.
Now, CDC has to sign off on the vaccines before children can start getting them. But if authorized, they could be available as soon as next week. Here's ABC's Rena Roy.
A sigh of relief for many parents across the country, with the CDC expected to sign off on vaccines for children between 6 months and 5 years old. Emergency use authorization for the Pfizer and Moderna shots for that age group could come on Saturday, and shots could go into arms next week. The FDA signing off this week, saying both vaccines appear safe and effective despite mild symptoms like irritability and fever.
We know that many parents, caregivers, and clinicians have been anxiously awaiting today's authorizations.
Pfizer's vaccine is a 3-shot series, 1/10 the size of the adult dose. The company's early data showed it was 80% effective in preventing symptomatic COVID. Moderna's vaccine, only 2 shots, is a quarter of the size of the adult dose. Early data showed it was about 40 to 50% effective at preventing mild infections. Both generated antibody levels against the Omicron variant similar to those seen in adults.
Whatever vaccine your healthcare provider, pediatrician has, that's what I would give my child.
Moderna says it plans to launch a study in the fall in babies as young as 3 months old. They'll work on finding the right dosage for infants to see what's safest and the most effective. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Coming up, school is out and childcare is expensive. Working parents search for ways to make sure their kids are taken care of.
I just wouldn't feel safe until he got into his preteens, like maybe like 12 or 13.
What you need to know about Colorado law before you decide to leave your children by themselves.
And summer travel continues to be chaotic. Why you won't see relief anytime soon.